Hello, I'm Garrett Godfrey, and welcome to the Crowdfunding Christian Music Podcast, where I will help you find and fund the music you love. This is episode 19, recorded Thursday, June 11th, 2015. We're going to be looking at some current campaigns by Reverend John Lee Hooker Jr., Barry Blair, Tanner Olson, aka Written to Speak, Brandon Pasion, and Laura Sully, plus updates on Coastland Commons and Fleming and John. I hope you enjoy the show and find something you can fund. Okay, so let's get right to it. Before we jump into the campaigns, I just want to let you know I'm going to try something different this week. At the end of the recording, I'm going to go back and see the timestamps of when each campaign was, and try and include that in the show notes. So if you feel like jumping straight to a specific campaign, you ought to be able to find the timestamp in the show notes and try that out. So if that works out for you, or if it's just a total disaster, either way, give me some feedback. Let me know how it's working. So first up this week, is Reverend John Lee Hooker Jr. He's the son of Delta blues legend John Lee Hooker, with a Kickstarter campaign for a gospel album, My God is Holy. Let's watch some of his campaign video, where we will learn his story and some samples from some of his songs.
You want your mojo to work tonight? Come on, let me see you wave your hand. Oh, Las Vegas. Come on, wave your hand, Las Vegas.
I've been incarcerated most of my life. Drugs led to me getting shot in one state, going to another state, got shot, another state and city, got stabbed, overdosed numerous times. Everybody thought I was going to die. I did too. My mom and my dad would come and visit, and I'd get chewed out. Look at you. You're at your second home. I am so glad you're here, because now I don't have to worry about where you are. I was quite successful, on the cover of 8 magazines, nominated for a Grammy twice, and your head just gets a little bit bigger.
He was on his way.
Something about the neighborhood, right?
Yeah, in his neighborhood.
In his local neighborhood.
Local neighborhood.
There was a man on his way to the bar one morning.
There was something inside of me saying, no, you got to remember, you have to be like your dad, remember. But then there was a stronger voice inside of me that's saying, but what you're doing is you're influencing people with your music. Let people know through my music that they can have a better life than the life that they're living.
Oh, we need to strive.
We need to strive to be like Christ Jesus.
Everywhere we go.
Everywhere we go.
He said if I would endure to the end of time, I would walk on the street that they would go. Walk that walk.
We need to strive.
I left the blues for the good news. I now go back into the same places that held me most of my life. I'm now a chaplain at Pelican Bay State Prison, San Quentin State Prison, and also the county jail at Elk Grove. We're reaching out to those who would otherwise perish, those who would otherwise stay in the streets. We're also in the studio recording our CD called My God is Holy. It's a financial challenge, and the reason being is because gospel doesn't pay a lot of money. It was sort of disappointing and a little heartbreaking when we had to stop recording because of the financial difficulties that we went through. Blues music and touring pays a substantial amount of money, and when you stop that, we want to continue and raise money to finish our product. We want to go a little bit further in regards to reaching those in juvenile halls, traveling back and forth to prisons. It's getting kind of tight, and that's why we're on TV right now, trying to ask someone to help us. And now we're asking all of my friends and fans and family and whoever you are all over the world, we really need your help. And if you could just reach down in your soul and know that this is for a purpose, then we really would so much appreciate all the help that you can give. That's all I can say, is that we thank you in advance for anything that you can do. God bless you.
Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy.
They crucified my Savior on Calvary's hill. Then they pierced him in the side, and his blood began to spill. Then they took him off the cross, and they buried him in the grave. But he got right back up on the third day. My God is holy, holy, holy. You're so sanctified and holy.
Holy, holy, holy.
No one like you nowhere, Jesus.
Now he's looking to raise $65,000, and he's raised a little over $2,000 so far, but he's got over 3 weeks left. This campaign is open until July 6th. So let's scroll down and look at some of the rewards. So for $15, you can get the digital download of the project 1 week before the release date. You scroll down for $60, you can get an early signed copy of the CD, and that also includes the early download, your name in the liner notes, an inscribed pocket-sized Bible, a photo, and more. And there are a lot of other reward levels available as well. If this sounds like something you could get behind, hit up the show notes for the links to the campaign page if you back it, or even if you just want to help them get more visibility. Post it on Facebook, tweet about it, spread the word, and let folks know that Reverend John Lee Hooker Jr. is putting out a gospel album. Now next up is Blair. He's the original Audio Adrenaline guitarist who's got an Indiegogo campaign for a jazz Christmas album to be titled Noel Volume 2, Jazz Christmas. Thanks go out over to Jesus Freak Hideout for bringing the news of this report out, and also to Ian over at Indie Vision Music for promoting this. Let's go over to Barry's Indiegogo campaign page, and let's watch a little bit of the video where we'll hear one of the songs. He's looking to raise $7,000 and is about 25% there, with another, couple weeks to go. This campaign closes June 26th. Let's scroll down and check out the perks. Oh, and before I do, let me point out, a lot of the Indiegogo campaigns we see are the flexible funding, where even if they don't make it, they still get to take whatever was pledged. This is a fixed funding campaign, so this is much more in line with a Kickstarter model of all or nothing. So he's targeting $7,000, and that's what he's got to hit for this to go forward. So if you scroll down and check out some of the perks, for $10 you get a digital download of the album. For $15 you get a signed CD and the digital download. For $20 you also get the download of the first volume of Noel Jazz Christmas, which came out a little while ago, and there are other options available. If that sounds like something you might be into, act fast. Hit up the show notes for the links to the campaign page if you back it, or even if you just want to help them get more visibility. Be sure to post about it on Facebook, tweet about it, and spread the word. Let folks know that Blair is working on a Christmas album. And next up is Tanner Olson, a spoken word artist that goes under the name Written to Speak. Now, he's got a Kickstarter campaign for a new album, and let's watch his campaign video to learn a little bit more about it.
Hey, my name is Tanner. I'm a spoken word artist, writing poetry and reading it for anybody that will listen. And I go by the name of Written to Speak. 2 years ago, I sat in front of a camera and I told you about a dream that I had, to write and record a spoken word album. And with your love and support, we were able to do that. We came out with an album and titled it Honest Thoughts. And it was a dream, and it wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for you. Since its release, I've had the opportunity to share those words with people all across the country, and I've gotten to work with different groups and organizations. And now it's time for us to record new poems. But I can't do this alone. I'll need your help. Again, we're going to launch a Kickstarter, and our goal is $1,500. The funds that we raise are going to go towards recording and printing the album, and getting the word out about Written to Speak. The more money we raise, the better the album that we can create. To be honest, I'm still learning what this spoken word thing is, and I'm still learning what Written to Speak is. But I do know this. I know that the goal of Written to Speak is to announce hope and to share love. I want to care for people and help them ask the questions that they've been trying to ask and maybe give them an answer they're looking for. I want people to know that they're loved, that they're not alone, and that it's okay to be honest. That it's okay to be honest with themselves and with the people around them. I want to share with our world the idea that we should write, speak, and live honest words of love. And that's why we're doing this. That's why we're going to launch another album, and we would love it for you to join us on this mission. On the right-hand side of your screen, you can see some of the packages that we have for you. $10 is the digital album, $20 is a physical album and a sticker, $30 will get you the physical album, a sticker, and a t-shirt. And for $50, you can get a physical album, a sticker, a t-shirt, and we'll write your name on the inside of the album, printed on there for everyone to see. Thank you guys so much for your love. Thank you so much for your support. Please join me on this project. If you have any questions, I'd love to answer them. Thank you so much, and I can't wait to get this album in your hands. See ya.
So I'm going to scroll down and play a bit of one of his pieces called For Us.
Crowds the size of stadiums came to witness you tread the bloodstained dirt road in hopes to catch a glance of your last breath, but Jesus, you didn't fight back. Not even when you had the chance, you stood still, and you had the chance, but you stood still. You stood still for the world, for the ones you love, for your children, for me, for us. And when your robe was torn off and when the nails went in, you flinched. Of course you flinched. You were human. You once ate, laughed, and cried. You once walked, talked, and taught. You healed and revealed. You prayed and forgave. You, like the storm, were still. While hanging on that cross, you could have gotten down. Of course you could have gotten down. You're God. But you didn't. Hanging there, hardly able to breathe, speak, see, you prayed. You prayed for those who hated you. You prayed for those who took your words, your hands, your heart, and twisted, beat, and broke them. But you didn't fight back. You didn't. You endured the sin of the world, our sin, my sin, on your back and weighed you down like a potato sack, packed full of our dirt, our shame, our lies, our hate, our disgrace. But you hung there high while the others cried. You yelled to the sky, belting it from your insides, shattering the earth only for people to run and hide, and now no longer were you disguised. Our sin drowned you for 3 whole days. Laid to rest, laid to waste, only to come back and give us a new taste of what it means to never forsake. The ground it could not bound, the love of the sun, it could not contain the once beaten, broken, breathless one. Jesus, you didn't fight back. Not even when you had the chance, you stood still.
So he's looking for $1,500, and he's past that. He's already met that. He's at a little over $2,000. So this is going to get funded. It'll happen. And there's still more than 2 weeks left. This doesn't close until June 29th. So as he mentioned in the video, $10 gets you digital copy, $20 gets you a signed CD and stickers, and there were more options available. If this sounds like something you might be into, hit up the show notes for the links to the campaign page if you back it, or even if you just want to help him get more visibility. Post it on Facebook, tweet about it, spread the word. Let folks know that Written to Speak is putting out a new spoken word album. Next up is Brandon Pasion, a singer-songwriter out of Visalia, California. And he's got a Kickstarter campaign for a country folk EP. And his stuff, he's got a... Well, let's watch his campaign video, and we'll hear a little bit more about it here.
For years now, probably my whole musical career, I have made a living playing other people's music and going around to different conferences and retreats and churches. But my dream has always been to do my own music, the stuff that's coming out of me, the things that define me as a person. Any of you who have known me for longer than a few years, you know that my story is a full one. I've been down and out. I have been in ministry. I've left ministry. I've sold mattresses. And the one constant thing that's been there the whole time that I haven't ever been able to quite let go of is my music. All along, even unintentionally, I've seemed to have chronicled my journey with my songs. And as I look back, similar to if you look back and read a journal, you kind of start seeing that there's more going on than you thought. And the story was deeper than you thought it was in the first place. You know, it's interesting though, as you first start off writing songs, you don't imagine that anybody wouldn't love them as much as you do. And so I'd play them for my friends or for my brother, whatever. And of course, being honest and loving, they would rip the song to shreds. And you know, if it was cheesy, which most first songs I think are cheesy, they would have no problem telling me that. And I think that derailed me early on. Hearing critique from people, and that's hard. It's always the hardest thing for artists to get is rejection, and to be able to bounce back from that rejection. I remember the first time that I played one of my songs for a well-renowned songwriter, and he looked up at me when I was done playing the song, and he said, "What are you going to do with your music?" I think sometimes all we really have is our story, and if I can share that story with my music, I feel like that's something I can be proud of, because it's me.
So he's got a SoundCloud page that's got some of his music, and I'd like to play a clip of one of his songs, "I Don't Know Where I'd Be Without Your Love."
There are nights that I can't sleep for counting lost instead of sheep, and echoes of the things I love most. Underneath the fear in me is someone aching to believe we're more than just our victories and our coasts. But then there's you, breaking through my sadness like you do. And I feel a little smile. I still be running, searching for something, and trying to find the life I'm dreaming of. Caught in the undertow, you should probably know that I don't know where I'd be without your love, without your love, without your love.
So if we go back and look at his campaign page, he's looking for $9,000, and he's already over $7,500 with 2 more weeks to go. This campaign closes July 1st. So let's scroll down and take a look at the rewards on the right. For $10, you get a digital copy of the project. For $25, you get a signed CD and a digital download and more. If this sounds like something you might be into, hit up the show notes for the links to the campaign page and the SoundCloud page. You can check out his other music. If you back it, or even if you just want to help him get more visibility, be sure to post it on Facebook and tweet about it, spread the word, and let folks know that Brandon Pasion is working on a new album. And next up is Laura Sully, a singer-songwriter and worship leader out of Atlanta, Georgia. She's had a successful Kickstarter campaign about 4 years ago to release her first album, and now she's back with a Kickstarter campaign for a new pop album to be titled Return to Beauty. Let's check out her campaign video to learn more.
In this world we live in today, there is brokenness everywhere. But God didn't make creation or us that way originally. Man fell into sin, and the effects of that has been devastating. But because of what Jesus did, God is in the process of restoring, redeeming, and returning it all to the beauty He originally intended it to be. Hey, I'm Sully, and I'm making my second album called Return to Beauty. I'm a singer and songwriter and worship leader from Atlanta, Georgia. And I'm just so thankful that God has given me the opportunity to use my gifts to bring glory to Him and to further the kingdom. So for the last few years, since the release of my last record, I've been able to do a lot of really cool and life-changing things. One of those things was being a part of a worship school called the 10,000 Fathers Worship School. And during this time, I was just really able to learn so much more about who God is and who that He says that I am, and just really work on my craft of songwriting and worship leading. I've been able to work with a guy named Dan Hannon. He's a Dove Award-winning songwriter and producer, and through working with him, I've just been able to work on my craft of songwriting. We've been writing together and recording songs and just working on my sound as an artist. So together we've recorded 3 out of the 5 songs that will be on the upcoming album. But we need to still finish the last 2. So that's where you guys come in. I need to raise a minimum of $11,000 in the next 40 days in order to effectively release this album. The money that we raise will go towards mixing, mastering, pressing the CDs, artwork, digital distribution, and marketing. So the album, Return to Beauty, is really just been how God takes our messes and returns them back to the beauty that He originally intended our lives to be. And He does that in our lives, and He does that in creation. You see it all over. When you walk through a broken city and you see it being restored, that's God bringing the kingdom to earth. A lot of these songs just came out of a lot of transition in my life and moving and leaving a lot of what I knew. So one of the songs, Here With Me, is one of my favorites, just about God just being close no matter where you are. I think that it'll be a comforting song for people who might be going through the same kind of thing.
Now she's looking for $11,000, and she's just over $4,000 right now, but she still has almost $4,500. She still has over 2 weeks to go. This campaign doesn't close until June 30th. So let's scroll down and look at the rewards. For $5, you get a digital download of the album before it's released. As she mentioned in the video, it looks like it's going to be a 5-song EP. For $10, you get a signed copy plus the digital download, and then there are other options including posters and home recordings of unreleased tracks and a bunch of other things. So if this sounds like something you might be into, hit up the show notes for the links to the campaign page if you back it, or even if you just want to help her get more visibility. Post about it on Facebook, tweet about it, spread the word, let folks know that Sully is working on a new album. And normally, I like to take a look back at a campaign that's been closed and provide an update. Tonight's updates are about Coastland Commons and Fleming and John. Now, I'd covered Coastland Commons back in episode 7. They're the community of visual, musical, and literary artists based in Seattle. Tonight's update is they start recording next week. They'll be recording 12 songs by 5 different writers in 6 days. Looks like it's going to be a busy week next week in Seattle. And I'd covered Fleming and John a while back in episode 8, so if you don't know who they are, you really should go back as soon as you're done with this episode to episode 8, learn a little bit more about them. Definitely want to check that out. The update is that backers just got a download of a new song, and wow, it's amazing. I really want to play it for you, but everything is saying it's for backers only right now. I even looked to see if maybe somebody else had posted it on YouTube, and then I could just play that for you without me being the one that leaked it. I'm not. I can't do that. I didn't find anything anywhere, but I'll tell you what. I'll ping them online and see if I can get their blessing to play a clip for you next week. And in the meantime, enjoy all the rest of their music on Spotify and YouTube as we wait for this new project to come out. Those are all the campaigns for the week. I'm Garrett Godfrey, and I do hope you had a great week, but I would like you to stick around for just a couple more things. If you like the theme song that I play at the beginning and at the end, it's called Hypostatic Union, and it's by a group out of South Africa called the X Structure. All their music is Creative Commons. It's all name your price over at Bandcamp. So the link's in the show notes. Head over, check out their stuff, stream their songs, see what it's worth to you, buy some of their music, and include a note that you heard about it on the Crowdfunding Christian Music podcast. And don't forget to head over to the crowdfundingchristianmusic.com website, where you will find all the episodes and show notes. So, as you scroll down, it's got the little show notes, read more, and you can click on that to get all the show notes that I keep talking about. Today, I would like to focus on one website feature called What Can I Do? It's on the right-hand side in the little menu section, and this is actually how to follow the podcast on Twitter. So when we're tweeting about some campaigns, you can catch it. How to like the podcast page on Facebook. So as we're doing stuff, same thing with Google+. You can subscribe on YouTube. How to interact through the website using the submission form. If you need to give me feedback about the podcast, the website, a campaign I ought to cover but I haven't, that's the submission form. How to do a review and a rating on iTunes. So if you use iTunes and you like the show, even if you don't like the show, an honest review is an honest review. Let them know what you think, and let other folks know as well. So that's it. Stick around. There will be more campaigns covered next week. In the meantime, you can email me, feedback@crowdfundingchristianmusic.com. You can message me on Twitter @theotherccm, or you can use that submission form on the website. So I'm Garrett Godfrey. That's it for this week. See you later. Bye.